Welcome. I'm Chase Johnson with the Intapp product marketing team. Today, one of our industry cloud architects, Emmanuel Meza, is going to walk you through how DealCloud helps advisory teams unlock intelligence to discover and win more opportunities. Before I hand it over to Manny, let's make sure everyone's up to speed on what DealCloud is. It's an all-in-one deal and relationship management solution that creates a single source of truth for your advisory professionals and the information they rely on every day. It's purpose-built to manage the complex relationship networks involved in corporate transactions, and it harnesses AI and deep learning to self-maintain contact data and measure the strength of those relationships. We know that to keep a pulse on the market, we know that advisors need to keep a pulse on the market to effectively manage their deals and relationships too, though. So our data cortex provides zero entry and rapid integration of market data from leading third-party data providers like PitchBook and FactSet. Finally, DealCloud integrates with the other data, workflows, and apps your professionals use every day, like Microsoft Outlook, Teams, and SharePoint, so they can easily sync and access the information they need where they're at. So, Manny, I'm going to hand it over to you now. Let's take a look at how this all comes together in DealCloud.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chase, for the introduction there. I'm going to begin sharing my screen. Can I confirm once everyone can see it?
Yeah, this looks good.
Awesome. Thank you, Chase. As Chase mentioned, today we want to walk you through how to unlock intelligence for better business development. We are in our accounting, consulting, advisory blueprint demo environment. Think of this demo as the art of the possible, a culmination of our best practices. As Chase mentioned, we are purpose-built technology, completely and wholly dedicated to helping advisors, investors within this space better leverage technology. Today's webinar is going to be focused on business development, specifically how to drive revenue opportunities with private equity firms or other financial sponsors. It's no secret that the rise of private equity has driven competitive pressures for a lot of our accounting consulting clients. As you begin to pitch to different private and public companies, the board members are increasingly members or professionals at private equity firms or other investment management firms, and having relationships with them is key to being able to drive business development for pre-deal and post-deal engagements. When I log into the DealCloud platform, the first thing I might see to help me manage relationships with financial sponsors is a best practice dashboard showing me a list of those key companies we work with. At a fundamental level, a lot of our clients will start using DealCloud as a relationship management platform where they can tier out those prospective clients or existing clients. This is a pre-filtered view of organizations that are considered or classified as financial sponsors within the platform. I can tier out these clients so that as we think about where to prioritize our time, who to assign as relationship owners of these prospective or existing clients, we're able to use analytics to better measure what is the opportunity we have with these financial sponsors, what are the different engagements that we can pitch to them, and who internally has the best relationships there for those warm introductions. For example, when I log in, I can see the Carlyle Group is an example, tier one private equity client of ours. I'm assigned as the primary relationship owner or coverage individual, but there's a team that might work in different offices or in different service lines that also have relationships with the Carlyle Group. The Carlyle Group is a global private equity firm with various investment strategies encompassing different industries across different regions. So it's critical for me within an accounting firm, Emmanuel, to be able to understand which of my colleagues, what other partners in different areas of their organization might have relationships with the Carlyle Group. This helps us all work collaboratively to better be a trusted advisor to the Carlyle Group. We're able to all speak collectively together around the work we're doing for them. And I can see the last time there was a conversation with them. A platform like DealCloud is only as good as the data within it, or we're going to talk throughout the webinar around how data gets in the platform. One of those primary channels for data getting in the system is Outlook. We can ingest data from your own proprietary email by connecting to your exchange. So we have a partnership with Outlook that allows us to either rule-based ingestion of emails, meetings, contacts, companies, or it can be more of an opt-in selective approach where the users contribute selectively by picking and choosing what emails and meetings, contacts, companies from their Outlook they like to put in DealCloud. But again, we try to focus a lot of our product development and philosophy on this concept of zero to minimal data entry, trying to minimize the amount of clicks a user might have to take to capturing meeting notes or the last email that we might have had with one of these private equity firms. Being able to see the digital trace of our relationship with this firm helps us better measure our footprint with them. How many meetings are we having with them or emails? And of those, how many pitches are we generating for our firm? Are we driving engagements for our transaction services group, our audit group, our corporate finance team? Of those pitches, how many mandates are we winning? What is our total win rate with this financial sponsor? And maybe even some of the revenue history we have in terms of fees we've invoiced or collected from this organization. Again, this can be coming in from a third-party application. So one of the other primary channels for data getting into the system is through our open API. We have productized integrations with a lot of other applications, but our open API also allows us to integrate seamlessly with virtually any other cloud platform, given they're open to that integration as well on your behalf. And we're able to ingest data from a financial management system, for example. And this again better gives insight to how we can tier out these clients based on how we tier out these private equity firms. Whoever is assigned ownership of the relationship might receive notifications or reminders to follow up within a constant frequency of communication. Based on a tier one classification, we might be reminded to follow up with the call out group every 30 days or 60 days. And this helps us stay top of mind for the next deal that comes around or the next transformation planning, value creation project that we might be able to advise on. The last things I'll show here within this dashboard that we commonly see clients take, and we believe you, as an advisory firm, should consider in leveraging technology is not just arbitrarily tiering out your clients or segmenting them, but really using sophisticated analytics, measuring the relationship against number of emails and meetings and the ROI of those touch points and pitches and win rate, and then collectively looking back at the fees or revenue that we're driving from a client and augmenting that with third-party data, using our own proprietary intelligence of the relationship, but also looking at how this financial sponsor behaves in the market can be critical to us better understanding what is the total opportunity we have with this firm. The Carlyle Group is very active, as you can see, with 9 deals in the last 12 months as a seller and an additional 72 where they were rumored as a bidder, where they saw deal volume and it's confirmed according to a data provider like FactSet or PitchBook, S&P Global, and Preqin. Or you can have the users, your practitioners, contribute data around the known deals happening in the market and the participants to those deals so that we can accurately track how many of those deals the Carlyle Group acted as a seller, bidder, and what was the average size of those deals. Are they typically engaging in big transactions or in smaller transactions so that we know who to assign as a relationship owner to continue those touch points, sending them valuable content that's in their range of deal expertise, right? As we think about who to assign to constantly, send material or be that trusted advisor to the Carlyle Group, we want the internal professionals that have the most experience or expertise working on deals that we see the Carlyle Group actively working in, whether that be the same sector, transaction size, you name it. And here you can see an example where by virtue of collecting this data, either from a third party or from the users, we can understand their investment preferences and better position ourselves to be in front of work that we know may be available as the Carlyle Group or Thoma Bravo, Blackstone, Apollo, Centerbridge are considering other transactions. So I'll pause there. I know I just went through a lot, but Chase, we've been speaking a while about financial sponsors and the rise of private equity firms. Does this make sense in terms of leveraging technology to better tier out how you spend your time with these firms and how to assign relationship owners to maintain the relationships?
Absolutely. I think what you just outlined here really shows how DealCloud can bring the sponsor relationship network into focus for advisory firms and help them better understand where they should focus their time and energy, where there's opportunity to build a better relationship, where they can just keep the momentum up, so on and so forth.
Yeah. What we're seeing from a lot of our clients, and when they think about a day in the life, the system is able to ingest and pick up what's coming up on your calendar. Do we have a scheduled meeting with the call out group later today or later this week? And based on those recognized scheduled events, we can proactively send information to those relationship owners, to those calendar invitees, so that I can see, who of my colleagues last spoke or interacted with Abry partners or AlpInvest partners. What is the total strength of the relationship that my colleagues might have with these private equity firms? And who are the individual contacts at those financial sponsor institutions that we're capturing? So in this example, I can go down to the individual contact level and even further the relationship intelligence of colleagues that have communicated with either a professional or personal relationship to the various contacts at those financial sponsors. As I begin to plan out that meeting or scheduled interaction with the call out group, the system can proactively send me reports via email or the mobile app, but I can also dive in and see a more holistic 360-degree view of the relationship. Here I might see proprietary information like who the relationship owners are, but I might also see third-party data augmented from a fact set or a pitch book around their revenue, their sector preferences, or other investment preferences. I can visualize a news feed of funding or people they've hired. So as I pick up the phone or go into the meeting, I'm armed or fully knowledgeable around what's happening with the firm, whether it's things that they've communicated to us already or things that are happening in the market. As I scroll down, I can see a holistic summary of the client history, their participation on deals, or referral history. It's critical for us to know what other clients has the call out group referred to us. What work have they brought to us, maybe indirectly by speaking good about us or through testimonials of those relationship activities that are happening? Who were the internal attendees or recipients on an email? Who were the companies that were spoken about on those emails or on those touch points? So not just capturing the fact that we spoke with the call out group, but understanding that we spoke with them about Pro Unlimited, maybe a private company that they're evaluating an acquisition of. Here at the top, I can dive in to some of the other more pre-configured data, giving us those analytics or insights into the call out group, including the key contacts. Again, at a core level, a lot of our clients will begin using DealCloud as a relationship intelligence platform, better understanding, okay, who are the key financial sponsors we work with, the contacts at those firms, what investment strategies do those contacts focus on? Again, a big global private equity firm like the call out group might have various investment strategies across various sectors and regions. Understanding which of their professionals are focused on which sectors and which regions better allows you to align colleagues internally to maintain and grow those relationships. Leveraging premier best in class intelligence, artificial intelligence, the DealCloud platform is able to give you insights and through zero data entry, better again understanding which of your colleagues internally across different service lines or offices might have relationships with those contacts, and when was the last inbound or outbound email we had with them, and based on the velocity and quality of those touch points, what is the strength of the relationship and how has that been trending in the last 6 months, the last quarter or year, and how are we making sure holistically we're driving the relationship in a positive direction. This is one of the things DealCloud was built fundamentally with as a difference to several other solutions. Just understanding that the complexity of relationships with a financial sponsor require a multi-dimensional data model where I can track those colleagues internally that know the various contacts at the Carlyle Group, but also the various executives or board members of the portfolio companies, and understanding with those portfolio companies when they were last acquired, what fund they belong to, and who were the advisors when the Carlyle Group acquired these portfolio companies. Looking at when was the last financing of these portfolio companies and at what valuation. What are the various sectors or subsectors that we see them commonly investing in and that their portfolio consists of today? Who internally might have relationships with the contacts associated at those portfolio companies? And if we're looking to pitch our services to one of these portfolio companies, maybe for sell side diligence work, we can work through the private equity firm, work through the board members to make sure that we secure an opportunity to pitch our services. And when I look at the holistic deal history we have with the Carlyle Group, all the engagements we have with them, our platform comes out of the box understanding it's critical for your team to go into the meeting with a Carlyle Group, not just knowing what work have you provided them directly, but provided their portfolio companies. So if we've advised 126 Terra Corp on a sell side due diligence, or if we'd advised One Life Healthcare on a post-merger integration transformation planning project of an add-on acquisition, how can we best speak to this in that next meeting and use this as leverage in winning the next pitch, winning the next transaction services engagement, or even the post-deal engagement for PMI or value creation consulting or audit work. And here I can see internally which of my team members were staffed on those projects, how many hours we worked on these engagements. This can be critical information when going into scope. But again, speaking on this webinar specifically, really valuable from a business development perspective to have that leverage, have that knowledge against your prospective and existing clients of what your entire firm's representation of them has been in the market. One of the last things I want to highlight here is how are we driving activator behavior? This is something that you'll hear a lot of in the next coming weeks and months from the Intapp organization, which is a research that's been provided on or conducted on what are the type of behaviors that the top rainmakers perform within advisory firms? What are the activities or habits that they engage in that will allow them to drive the most revenue for their advisory businesses? One of those top behaviors is activating your network. Whenever you have an opportunity to bring in internal colleagues or external colleagues and peers into an opportunity, into a pursuit, that's when you can really drive an exponential ROI from those activities. So what we're seeing a lot of the best clients do is not just staying top of mind and waiting for the next deal to come up to pitch your transaction services, but being proactive and providing that value to your client of monitoring rumored deals or market gossip. What transactions do we anticipate to come to market using technology like DealCloud to predict when transactions will happen and positioning yourself either for that sell side due diligence work or redistributing marketing material, repositioning the opportunity to win buy side tickets, to provide buy side due diligence services, whether that's financial or commercial due diligence. So here I can see a tailored view of suggested deals that we should bring to the call out group, rumor transactions that we know they're not looking at right now. We've spoken to them and it doesn't seem like this is something on their radar, but based on their known investment preferences and how we know they behave in the market, we believe that this might be a quality deal for them to evaluate. And this can be valuable for us to showcase to the call out group, because if it is something that piques their interest, now we are the top advisor they're considering to hire for that due diligence work to represent them on the buy side. So here we can see Dish Network, Grid Infrastructure, Constellation Brands, each rumor deals where internally we know whether these rumor deals are coming from a public source like the Wall Street Journal or FactSet, or are these rumor deals market gossip that we are learning through conversations and our emails and our meetings, information that isn't publicly available nor through a data provider? Or is this our own internal analytics, our own internal predictions of what's going to come to market, maybe based on signals or technology that we're leveraging? When do we expect these transactions to happen? Within the next 6 months, 12 months? And why is this something that the call out group should be interested in? Is this in their sector? Is this in their regions that they prefer to invest in? Does this fit within their revenue or EBITDA mandate for maybe the fund that's currently deploying capital? And for those market deals that we think are coming out, who are those known advisors currently advising on the sell side? Are there known law firms or known investment banks advising the target company or the sellers? How can we work with them to better understand the opportunity and make sure that we're driving great outcomes right on both sides of the table? So I'll pause there. Chase, does that make sense? And I guess any questions for you or thoughts on that activator mentality of being proactive and bringing deals to the call out group that we know might be of interest for them, and trying to activate our network in doing so?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that everything about DealCloud is meant to enable that activator mentality and that proactive approach to deal making. Um, like you said, whether it's the IB investment banking, corporate finance side of the house, or if we're talking about trying to kind of multiply the opportunities around buy side with due diligence services, I just think that this is what DealCloud's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. And I'll highlight here, I'm showing a lot of today's demo from the perspective of the web browser, where I have time to prepare for my meeting, evaluate the analytics and predictions that DealCloud is showing to me, leverage the suggestions and insights from AI around what deals to show based on those matching investment preferences, better understanding what contacts to reach out to and what colleagues internally to leverage for those warm introductions based on the relationship intelligence. Here in the top right is where I'm going to generate a report to showcase leveraging the information outside of DealCloud. All of the visualizations shown today on the webinar can be consolidated into a external or internal facing format in a PDF, Excel, PowerPoint, and this can be with your own branding, your own logo, your own colors. This specific example is a meeting preparation report. I receive a report and preparation for a meeting that lets me know what is the client history with the call out group. The system recognizes I have a scheduled meeting with them. It allows me to see who internally has relationships and maybe last spoke with them. What were the contents of those recent conversations where it looks like they discussed an opportunity for a strategy deal? Who are the key contacts that we last spoke with there, and what is their job title and positions? And as I go to maybe into that meeting, how do I speak intelligently about all of the work we've done for them, maybe across different offices or groups? How can I leverage the work I've done for them and their peers to better position us to win the next piece of work? This idea of rumored deals or market gossip can be visualized on a sponsor specific page, or I can zoom out, go to our analytics and look at all of the market behavior going on right now. And of that market behavior, where are we? What is the typical valuations that we're seeing or deal terms? But for those rumored deals, who are the top known buyers or sellers, the top known participants, maybe broken down by sector? This can be valuable as we think about horizon scanning, looking across the market and predicting which sectors and which industries are going to undergo the most M&A activity, and within those sectors, which companies or financial sponsors are going to be the most active in deploying or liquidating. Here I can pivot to the page for a specific rumored deal. Here's a potential transaction that we're capturing in the system. This can come in from a third-party data source like FactSet, or it can be manually entered in as your team is having conversations or uploaded via Excel, essentially tracking those rumor transactions. And for that market gossip, what is our pipeline of opportunities? Those prospective engagements or pursuits where we're pitching and negotiating the engagement letter, or live engagements where we've signed the engagement letter and we're executing on the financial due diligence, the quality of earnings, or we're engaging on the commercial due diligence and providing strategy analysis. DealCloud with pre-built AI is providing those suggested buyers, helping encourage that activator behavior. We know this transaction is coming to market, and these are the known bidders, but these are other financial sponsors or other strategic acquirers that might be interested in this deal, and who internally might have the strongest relationships, whether it's Katrina, Quentin, Jamal. So go reach out to these financial sponsors. Who are the key contacts that we know work at those financial sponsor firms, and who internally has the strongest relationships with Abry partners or Alpha Invest partners, so that we're leveraging our relationship intelligence to drive that revenue, drive that business development opportunity, providing diligence services in this case for transaction services, and knowing that post deal you have the ability to drive that cross sell to post deal opportunities. So in this view, we're looking at suggested buyers. We could just as easily have a dashboard of suggested advisors to refer, other friendlies like law firms that we can also advise to bring in on these financial sponsor opportunities. And I'll zoom back out to show this. This is a key theme that the DealCloud platform brings to a lot of our advisory clients. We often hear from our accounting, consulting clients, but also our legal clients, how critical it is to retain a larger wallet share of a client's advisory purchases, ensuring that as a client finishes a transaction, they're not hiring a different consulting firm for transformation planning, ensuring that when the next fund comes up, you're the firm that they're retaining for fund formation services, or diligence services for evaluating those transactions. This is a dashboard where I can see that view of market gossip. As a transaction services professional, maybe a financial due diligence partner, it's valuable for me to see what are those lost mandates that the corporate finance team is pitching. As the corporate finance team is pitching to represent on the sell side or buy side, it can be valuable for me to understand what has come into market and what pitches have they lost, where now I can join in or pitch to that same client or pitch on the other side of the table my diligence services. Same goes for other types of nudges. As the transaction services team, as the financial due diligence partner, it's beneficial for me to bring in other partners within my organization so that I'm not just pitching my financial due diligence services alone. I'm able to bring in my tax colleague to pitch tax due diligence services, or I can bring in my commercial due diligence partner to pitch their commercial due diligence services to the same client. So in this view, I can see those upcoming deal advisory pitches where it's important to me to bring in other colleagues within transaction services, or even bring in my colleagues from the post-deal service lines like consulting or strategy implementations. So as we're going to pitch our services to the client, they understand the breadth of our firm and services. And then closing out that concept of cross-sell opportunities, being able to give nudges to the corporate finance team or the transaction diligence team around pre-deal opportunities, as the consulting team, transformation planning team, as advising their clients, they're able to bring in and notify corporate finance when an expected exit is coming to market. As we've been advising the financial sponsor and their portfolio company for the past 5, 7 years, we see their fund come into market, it's coming to maturity, and they're beginning to exit each of their investments. It can be valuable for the corporate finance team to understand that, have that knowledge, and pitch their sell side services representing the financial sponsor as they exit that portfolio company. So this has been I think a really hot topic within a lot of our client base today, Chase. Maybe you can speak to this, or you might have comments around that concept of cross-selling our services pre-deal and post-deal, and making sure we're bringing in the right colleagues to better collaborate together on business development.
Yeah, I think that we've absolutely been hearing about this. I also think that just generally the ability to multiply opportunities, to leverage a system like DealCloud, like you mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, really depends on the quality of data that you have in the system. And I think one of the big things that sets DealCloud apart is not depending just on people to enter data within DealCloud, but being able to work within the tools like Microsoft Outlook, and professionals being able to push information from there, access information from there. I think it just helps keep all of the data up to speed and up to date and ready for people to leverage so that they can better execute business development.
Absolutely. One of the last things I'll close out here with is, as you think about driving business development with financial sponsors, think about not just growing and building relationships with the financial sponsors directly or directly with the portfolio companies. Really look at the financial sponsor holistically and their entire network of who are the top advisors that they work with. Here at the very top search bar, I'm going to dive to the page for the call out group. And again, putting myself in the shoes of a financial due diligence partner, a transaction services professional, or audit professional within a large advisory firm, it can be valuable to understand what is their market behavior. When the call out group does participate in the market, who are the top advisors that they're hiring? According to FactSet, according to PitchBook or S&P Global, or our own proprietary knowledge, who are the top law firms that they engage with? And if we want to position ourselves to win more work with the call-out group, how can we better build our relationship with Simpson Thacher, Proskauer Ross, or Goldman Sachs? How can we position our colleagues internally to be at all of the same marketing conferences, all of the same events as Shearman Sterling or KPMG? So when a next piece of the next deal comes up and the call out group is asking them what advisory firm to hire, they're thinking of you as a peer to refer work to when they're not able to provide that service, or when it's a complementary service to their own. And I can always pivot and go to the page for one of these other advisory firms, whether it's a competing advisory firm that we want to benchmark ourselves against, or a friendly, like a law firm. I can go to the page here, for example, to McGuire Woods. Oop. I can see a view into who are their top known clients and who are other financial sponsors that we might be able to grow relationships with just by mutually working with McGuire Woods, by activating our network and working with the M&A partner at this law firm. We might be able to win more revenue or business development, not just with the Carlyle group, but with other financial sponsors that are active in the market and active in the sectors where we can position ourselves to win the most. One of the last things maybe to highlight here is the ability to position yourself and look at where you are in the market. How are you competing with other advisory firms? But then where you are winning, what is our win rate? What is our win-loss ratio? And how does that differ between financial sponsors or um, corporates? This can be a topic that maybe we review in the next webinar when we look at execution, knowledge management, or pipeline management for accounting consulting firms. But I'll pause there.
I'm not seeing any questions at the moment. I don't want to put you on the spot,
Yeah,
but do you think you could show us how advisor could use DealCloud within Outlook? Just
yeah,
because that really is a really powerful tool for all of our clients using it.
yeah, absolutely. I've pulled up my Outlook now. Let me know once it's coming through.
Yep, looks good.
Awesome. So this is an excellent point. The DealCloud product has found, there's no one size fits all, and meeting clients where they are is a great way to drive adoption. Here within Outlook, users have the ability to contribute data to the platform. So as I think about business development workflows, making sure my team is um, staying on a single source of truth, understanding all the conversations and touch points we're having with the call log group, I can open an email and hit the button here at the bottom right to sync an email or save changes and correspondence from an email thread. This allows my team to stay, again, informed around the conversations we're having with the call log group. When I go to sync the email, the system will automatically pick up on not only the subject and body of the email, but I can sync in the attachments, and the email and attachments get stored under these tags. So the system recognizes this email is with Brian Lawson, an investment banker at Raymond James, and here are the internal recipients and the deal that is being spoken about. But I have the ability to add net new contacts or add net new deals or opportunities directly into the system. This is again great for meeting preparation so that I don't need to go into the web browser, open my Google Chrome to visualize the call log group and the relationship history we have with them. All of the same data and visualizations that we just saw on the web portal can be accessed from here. You can also generate those same tear sheets or reports. And this can be great for sending material back to the call out group. As they ask us questions about certain industries or engagements, I can quickly pivot to the page for those industries within the platform and visualize what is all the work we're doing within the healthcare industry and what is the critical information that might allow us to speak well to our expertise or experience in the email as we look at the deals that are happening or the bid analysis of our clients. How can we speak to the call out group as a trusted advisor, ensuring that they think of us when that next deal comes around? And this Outlook functionality works both through the desktop calendar, but also here through the email. And I can interact with this right hand info pane in the mobile app as well. So if I'm on the mobile app, on the tablet, iPad, on the road, and I'm in my email, I can quickly enter data into DealCloud or visualize data from DealCloud without having to pivot out and go to other applications. So really great to visually see which of my colleagues have relationships with a sponsor, if I'm in an Uber, in a taxi, on the way to a meeting, and need to see that information quickly on my phone. Each of the charts and analytics here within Outlook can be favorited. You can expand these as well. So as I'm working with my clients, so as I'm working with my team to better positioning ourselves and our experience for a pitch, how can I speak to our client about all the deals we've worked on and where our clients got in the progression of those deal evaluations. It was a great call out to show the Outlook integration, Chase.
Thanks, Manny. Yeah, I think one of the key things that makes DealCloud special isn't just like all the data it pulls in, how it can, do the multi-directional tagging, not just at the contact levels and at the company levels, but also just meeting professionals where they're at. Obviously, everyone has different work styles. You've got really busy partners that might not even want to get into the system. So being able to generate those tear sheets just to give them just the information they need, or to this point with Outlook, for everyone being able to easily send information and access information from DealCloud, I think just is what really sets it apart as a comprehensive deal and relationship management platform.
Yeah, something that has made me very excited is our new signature parsing capability. Leveraging the latest and greatest from AI, clients are now able to self-maintain contacts in the database simply by emailing with their network. As you're emailing with private equity professionals or other intermediaries, our system can read the signatures in the bottom of the email and automatically create or update contacts on your behalf. A lot of our clients will create a data stewardship process where a professional will verify the information that's being displayed by the AI. And this can be a great way to ensure data quality and accuracy within your firm. But now the data entry doesn't have to be as burdensome, typing it out, copying and pasting everything. It can be more of a matter of validating, checking off yes or no, whether something is accurate. And while we have the time, should we show the mobile app?
We've talked about the desktop app, how they can access through Outlook. It certainly makes sense to take a look at the mobile app too while we're at it.
Yeah, let me pull that up for us. Amazing. Thank you for the patience, everyone.
Looks good.
Awesome. So our fully integrated mobile app provides the same user experience that you saw on the web portal with added purpose-built functionality for on the road. Here within the mobile app, when I first log in, I have a pre-built dashboard for me personalized around my engagements or prospects, the different opportunities that I'm involved in, the tasks that have been assigned to me, the companies I have relationships with or that I have assigned ownership of the relationship, the individual contacts at those companies, whether it's financial sponsor companies or corporations, upcoming events on my calendar, and the system is sending me again insightful information on the bottom left around those upcoming meetings on my calendar of those activities that are happening this week. What is the breakdown across phone calls, management meetings for those live engagements I'm staffed on? Where are they by sector, by stage, and what percentage of the tasks are open or pending, waiting on someone else? Here in the top right, let's dive into the sponsor coverage view where I can see the analytics around who are the financial sponsors I need to follow up with this week? Who are the tier one or tier two financial sponsor clients that I haven't spoken with in 30 or 60 days? How can I prepare for conversations or meetings with them directly from here? I can send out emails or correspondence. I can navigate the various column headers and group or ungroup the data if I need to. Each of these are interactive cards where I can click to the page for the call out group or the primary contact Liz. When I go to the page for Liz, I have the ability to call her or contact her directly from the DealCloud mobile app. In the top right, I see each of those methods of contacting Liz, whether it's via email, mobile phone, office phone. What are all the various contact methods that we have for reaching out to her? And this might be augmented from third-party data or again, scraped via signatures just by virtue of emailing with her. Across the top, I can see other information such as her professional background, Where has she worked previously, and what are the sectors or subsectors that she focuses on? Other key uses of DealCloud is marketing, better understanding what are the upcoming events that Liz has RSVP to, or which events have we sponsored or ran in the past that she's attended, who were the different colleagues internally that were able to speak with her at those events, or that had correspondence or engagements with her via email. As we send her marketing collateral, is Liz opening or clicking on the content? Which type of newsletters or deal announcements is Liz reading through the most or spending the most time in? What is the holistic referral history? Has Liz referred any work to us or to other private equity firms? Has Liz provided testimonials of buy side or financial due diligence that we provided her, whether it's at the call out group or other private equity shops that she might have worked at? So it's really, I think, intuitive mobile app where we've tried to take a lot of learnings from great software systems, including social media platforms. I think a lot of social media technologies have found ways to bring users insightful information that keeps them engaged, keeps them captivated. We obviously don't want to go down the path that some social media firms have gone with addiction driving capabilities, but we look to provide professionals with the most useful information on a screen that can help them go into a meeting, driving those business development opportunities for their business.
It's great, Manny. I think we certainly don't want to have DealCloud be addictive, but we want it to be as user-friendly as possible
Yeah,
and to surface the key information that people need as quickly as possible so that they can focus on what they're paid to do, and that's to advise on these deals.
absolutely. Well, I know we're here close to time. Thank you everyone for the time, and we look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, thanks, Manny. I want to thank everyone for joining us. And if you'd like to learn more about how DealCloud can help your firm, I'd recommend you visit intapp.com/DealCloud. Or if you already have a relationship with an account manager at DealCloud or Intapp, go ahead and reach out to them. Thanks, everyone.